Hi, RJ. Shane Lindsay coming to you from Post, Texas. Hope and beyond hope that the camera's off on this video because I just look a mess. And I tell you, RJ, I want to do this video this morning actually and last night, but I have to tell you that yesterday and I'm sure you are dying to hear the story, but I'm going to tell you anyway because you're not on the other end. Tell me to quit telling you. But I've had this wash machine. It's a Speed Queen, and I bought it when I live in a very small town, and this guy named Curtis, who owned the furniture store until recently, always said that I bought a machine from him. It broke within a year, right when it was out of warranty, and he sold me this Speed Queen for $1,100, telling me that it had a 5-year warranty. That story. So at least 3 months ago, I stuffed a quilt or a bed pad in it, and it got caught up and broke it. And I didn't want to deal with it because it was stressful. So I just went to the laundromat for a couple of months and then finally said I had to deal with it. So, because it was under warranty, but I just couldn't find the receipt. And Curtis, in the meantime, retired. And so I couldn't find his phone number. And I had to call his daughter-in-law, whose his son died recently. And it was an ordeal. And so finally, I decided I better let it go. I had a machine person. They could fix it under the warranty, but I just had to give them a receipt. So finally, yesterday, Curtis brought me over a receipt, and I sent it to the wash machine people, and they came over yesterday to fix the machine. And when they went inside, the machine is literally in my studio. And he went in my studio to move the machine. He stepped on the drain valve on my hot water heater and broke it off. This is a true story. And literally spewed water all over the place in my studio, just spewing it like a fire hydrant. Oh, it was a mess. And then he went, and they didn't want to fix it. And then we got heated. And then he went to the hardware store and bought a cutoff valve till he could get with his boss and blah, blah, blah. And he put the cutoff valve on one side, but not on the other side. Meanwhile, it leaked water all night long through the floor. Oh my God, it's such a mess. So now here we are. A plumber came today, put the other cap on, but couldn't fix it today. It is going to be so expensive. So of course I'm not going to have to pay for any of it, but I can say how we're going to have to fight, and that has disrupted my inner peace. So I've decided tonight that I'm going to do this crit and let this all go. I did my exercises and didn't get to walk but a little ways because I have a knee injury. I usually walk 4 miles a day, and for this whole week I haven't been able to. Well, I had the knee injury for 3 weeks, but I only went to the doctor last week. So I'm hoping I don't have a tear. He is too, so that we have to fix it by surgery. Hopefully not. So does that tell you my last couple of days? Is that a nightmare or what? So I am not going to judge you for only giving me 3 pictures to look at. I read your statement. So I really love this picture right here, although, I mean, I don't see the connection in voyeurism. Those were some good questions that you were asking. Is there a difference? I mean, there's still surveillance. One of them is just more explicit, but if you're peeping through someone's window and they're having sex, does that make it voyeurism or does that make it surveillance? Those are good questions. So let me go back over here. So what I'm trying to see is what truly defines voyeurism, and does it have to be tied to? I don't think it does. I think the voyeurism is, there's going to be a sort of, it can even be covert, but sort of a thread of eroticism and kind of like, I want to think of it more as a kind of covert eroticism. Like it's not necessarily on its face, it could be, or in its face. It could be sort of this, kind of mind kind of thing going on. It's just kind of, it's very visual, voyeurism is. And I guess surveillance is too, but it's just, and the voyeurism could be similar to a fetish. And I don't really think it has to necessarily be tied to sex, but it is definitely tied to, the act of sex. but it's definitely tied to in a sexual kind of. It's again, it's kind of a covert sexual kind of feel. It doesn't have to necessarily be like, as I said, in your face. And I don't know if it actually. Here's what I think. I mean, you're asking some great questions. So censoring that person's identity with the black thing. I mean, if you're going to do the surveillance project, do the surveillance project. I mean, those people that you're photographing probably aren't going to know that you're giving these pictures to your teacher all the way over here in the States to look at and us to talk about the idea of voyeurism and surveillance. I mean, these are such great questions, but I don't think that if you're, I don't think you should censor the images. I just don't. And you know what? I'm going to show you. I just realized there's somebody I can show you work, and it's actually in the module. Michael Max McLeod's work. You saw. Let me get over. Let me just pull up his website real quick, because you talk about voyeurism. It's photography. Okay, there he is. So, oh man, I gotta get printed matter. These are some really interesting. Okay. So one of the things that he did, that's just a place where he's selling it. Let me get back from here. I was looking for if I can see. Did he go in? That's cool. Huh. Is sorry, I was trying to find his little publishing company. Can't remember the name of it. It's a good one though. Dang it. Okay. Well, let's just go up and look at these pictures. I don't know where his website is. I don't even know what he's doing. When he made this project I'm about to show you, again, actually was disease. He literally, let's just look at his images. This one right here, this is near where I live. And he was going around photographing. Here's the image that's on our module. He was photographing these places where people do disgusting things, like where they peep. It's a surveillance, where and he had these rooms. I never even heard of them. He actually spent a couple of nights with me when he was making this work. I'll never forget it. We traded off. I have this whole piece right here. He has some of my gems, and I have these. But let's see. So I love that piece right there. But he was driving through photographing these clubs, XX clubs. Look at this one. I mean, you talk about voyeurism. Look, sex goes on there, but there's no active sex going on. I mean, this is very voyeuristic. And see, the adults the ones he photographed was like one or two of them, like 30 minutes from my house, which is why but I was trying to find the one that, let's see if we can go here. Oops, that's all we're going to get to see. Dang it. Oh, see, he did this one. That's these peephole things. Oh, and this one. Look, you can see the walls, and it's just very, very interesting work. Very voyeuristic. And hopefully that can help you answer your questions. And I mean, in this book right here, this one is really weird. Casual Encounters. That's the one I have. Yeah, it's 67.50. My gems are a lot more than that. I gave him a jar of them. He probably got like $2,000 worth of gems. But anyway, that's such great work. It was a good trade for me because I mean it's so interesting and but it's kind of gross at the same time. Okay, so hopefully that's helping. And let's get back to your work. So if you want it to be voyeuristic or if you want it to be a surveillance project, then I think you ought to get out of your comfort zone and go make these images and don't mark out their eyeballs. Because, I mean, unless you have a good reason to do it, and if you're going to censor your own work, do it on something else. I mean, why would you censor your work? So that's what I want to say to you. Okay. And I'll be looking forward to seeing more images. But in this case, you had some great questions. So I think we got to answer those. All right, RJ. I think it's really cool that you live in Thailand. I love looking at the pictures you make. See you later. Bye.